Hey folks, Jason Heidema, CEO of Atrium here. In this video, I'm going to show you how Atrium automates sales performance management to ensure that every rep in your organization is actually coached and held accountable to the performance metrics you care about. In your organization, you likely have an expensive performance gap between the behaviors that you've delineated as a sales leader that you want to see across the sales organization and the actual performance of your reps. Now, there are a few common reasons for this. Firstly, your managers have a lot on their plate, and unfortunately, performance management often takes a back seat to other managerial priorities. Secondly, while I am confident that you have delivered to your organization a ton of dashboards and spreadsheets, unfortunately, your managers don't have the skill set to interpret all that data and figure out this week for each of my reps, what's the most important behavior that I can coach on to improve performance? Finally, your managers are not comfortable or trained at delivering effective performance feedback. Atrium solves this problem by automating the performance management jobs to be done in your organization. The AI sales coach directly manages every rep every day to ensure they know what's working, what's not, and what to do about it. The automated goal tracking system automatically ingests all of the historical data in your organization so that it knows the exact goals to set on each KPI, and then it manages those goals and reports results so that every rep and every team knows exactly where they stand. And finally, the Manager Copilot pre-generates performance check-in scripts for your managers to ensure that every one-on-one and every team meeting includes effective coaching conversations. As a result of all this automation, our customers see about a 20% lift on the KPIs that they set out to manage in Atrium. Let me show you a little bit about how this is working. First, as a manager, one of my important jobs to be done is my team meeting. So instead of winging it, I'm going to let the Manager Copilot lead the way. This week, I can give everyone a high five because we're way ahead of our activity level goals for the week. That said, we're quite a bit behind on our cold calling goals, and prospecting and pipe jetting is clearly important to this organization. So I'm going to let everyone know they've only got a couple days to make up for this and hit the phones. In my team meeting, I'm not just going to look at what's happening right now, but I'm also going to look at how we're tracking over time on these goals that we've agreed to. In this case, I can feel pretty good about the activity levels of my team over time, but it's also very clear that Alice and Lawrence consistently have lower levels of activity than their peers. And so we're going to talk about that in the team meeting and see how to get them to increase those levels. Now, as a manager, I'm not just in team meetings all day. Of course, bi-weekly, I'm in performance check-ins with each of my reps. And so here, once again, I'm going to leverage the Manager Copilot to lead the way. In this case, I'm talking to Alice, and Alice is crushing it on ops created. So far this month, she has more ops created than she has at this point in the month for the past 6 months. And unsurprisingly, as a result, she's outpacing her peers in ops created. But we're also going to have a coaching conversation. The sales coach is telling us that her sales cycle is elongating, and the reason for this is she's spending more time than ever in the business alignment stage, to the point where she has some of the longest time in this stage of any of her peers. So we're going to dive into the opportunities that are stuck in business alignment and figure out what she can do differently. Now, as a manager, I not only have this pre-built script, but I can rest assured that Alice is coming into this meeting already knowing what we're going to talk about, because the AI sales coach has been directly managing Alice every day in Slack and in email. Here's an example of an email that the AI sent to Alice, letting her know that on this week, she was way ahead of her typical meetings on calendar by the midpoint of the week, which is awesome. But it was also letting her know that while it's great that she closed successfully a bunch of deals this month, her Q+1 and Q+2 are not looking good because she's extremely light on pipe and she needs to kick it into high gear from a pipe gen perspective. As you can see, in Atrium, coaching actually happens, not only because the AI is directly managing every rep, but because every manager-rep conversation is facilitated by the fact that both parties come into the meeting already knowing what they're going to talk about. And if you're watching this video and you're thinking, yeah, but I've got a bunch of custom metrics and a bunch of bespoke KPIs that I need to manage too, that's not a problem. Our custom metrics infrastructure has you covered. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. If you like what you see and you want to see more of this functionality or a ton more, please go ahead and book a demo.